La la la. The show is live, I think. It's Tuesday. I heard noises. It might be the dishwasher. Katie's here.
It might be the rain. Hello.
Might be the storm, the coming storm that will soon end this show early. Cursed storm. Katie's here. I'm here. It's Shanahanigans live. Are you typing because your mic went quiet?
I am. I was just tweeting, but we can just start.
We can start because to make sure this show is working properly, we ask a very simple question to test the mic. Musical question. Let me right here. Ready for this?
Right.
Is
It.
recording.
Broadcasting.
Where are you? What's your timing like? Am I on a delay?
Maybe. No, I thought it was on time.
It's recording.
It's broadcasting.
Because it's time for
The Shanahanigans live.
second verse, saying the first. It's recording.
It's broadcasting.
Time for
Shanahanigans live. This is like a catastrophe.
Oh, it's a fantastic. Kid is going to draw, and Shaggy's going to laugh. This episode is all our recap of TCAF. Recap of TCAF? Recap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, no. I lost it because I was laughing so much. Was
Is it broadcasting? Shanahanigans live. I think because the accordion was right at the mic, I can't even hear you.
Oh,
it's
really?
Just like
It's up to you. Well,
don't let me carry this.
Okay, that's why I try to point it this way. The lines was, Katie's going to draw, Shaggy's going to laugh. This is a special episode because we'll recap TCAF. TCAF was this week in the Toronto Comic Arts Festival, and if you're saying to yourself, you're like, oh, I missed it. Oh, whatever. I'll get over it. No. Once you know how great it was, you'll never get over it, and you'll curse yourself for missing TCAF because it is honestly the greatest festival, the most fastidious of all comics festivals you have ever, will ever, need to ever experience. None before nor after shall compete or compare. TCAF is the one that all are facing forward towards and trying to be. Katie, your take.
Oh, what? My take? Fantastic. So good. I had such an amazing time. TCAF is like, I don't know, it feels like the kickoff of the, I mean, it's not the new year, but it feels like the start, it's spring, it's starting to get really nice out, it's really inspiring, the whole city is full of a lot of amazing friends and cartoonists and inspirational people, and it's just a wonderful time, and yeah, it's great. I think it's like the most social I ever am all year, too, so it's like 2 condensed days of just amazingness, and then I need to recover a little bit. It was
TCAF brings the spring, I find. Like
it does. It's the herald of
TCAF showed up.
Lovely times.
So if you guys have any particular questions, of course, if you're watching this show live from the YouTube, I guess you can just watch and say what's up. But the show is also on Google+, which allows you to go to the Q&A section so that you can post questions, comments, and things like that. And that helps the show move along and be a lot more interesting because it's just going to be me coming up with topics and it's just me coming up with topics. There's nothing too fantastic. But we'd probably have a jam-packed episode to talk about if we go chronologically about how great TCAF was. There are some questions here. We got Christoph saying, oh, it's the theme song. Yes, it is. Such a good theme song.
It's the theme song.
We also have Doris. Well, we'll answer this first, and then we'll get right into it. We got Doris Garcia saying, when do you plan to continue on Shrimp Monkeys comics? The randomness of your antics was something I always looked forward to, and now I have nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's as soon as I can make them, I'm making them. It's not really a planned hiatus, just kind of.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just burnout.
This show is your live.
2 years of burnout.
This is like you get the comics happening in real time. 2 hours of Shrimp Monkey comic is this show if you're new to it. Also, if you're brand new and if you're in the chat, I'm curious to see. I'll ask this throughout the episode. If you were at TCAF, jump in the chat and say a little like me, I was, yes, hey, or something like that. Sentence of that. And if you found this show by us handing out stickers at TCAF with the link, I'm curious about that too. I want to see if marketing works at all.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Now, chances are you're probably not. because the stickers didn't say what time or day the show was at, and that would take some extra research that I don't think is really anywhere. We're still working on that because our show keeps fluctuating. Sometimes it's Wednesdays, sometimes it's Tuesdays, but it is all saved on YouTube, so you can go back and watch every episode. Be sure to check out episode 124 because it was a good old time with our friend Lucy Bellwood.
Lucy Bellwood.
Lucy Bellwood joined us. Pre-TCAF.
From England.
From England.
Very nice. Very funny fella.
It was a good episode, so check that out and you can learn all about Lucy's stuff. Speaking of which, we both probably have piles of books and things to show you that we got at TCAF. We'll gradually go through that too if you want to see our haul, what we got. We got Glenn saying, I should curse myself for not attending TCAF. Yes, you should.
Mm-hmm.
You should all attend TCAF.
Well, will you guys hate me if I scan something really quick?
Super
fast.
Your chair is already the loudest thing in the world. All right.
My what is?
Well, your chair is already damn loud in the world, so I'll try to...
it's going to be super fast.
Pad it out. Okay, so just to go back, TCAF stands for the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. It is the festival at the Toronto Reference Library over just north of Yonge and Bloor. Absolutely free event to attend, which is one of the best selling points, that anyone can show up, all kids, adults, just no price, you just go. You just get in and you're good to go. That's...
I just scanned something really quick to work on it. It's almost on the bars. It's 300 DPI, but it's almost done. It's so close. There we go. Okay.
Okay. Now that's been taken care of.
Wait,
I'm trying to sing praises here. Are you good?
TCAF was awesome.
Thank you. Okay. So it's basically like 2 floors of all your favorite creators and comic artists and indie press publishers and stuff like that, just all over the whole library. Signings, panels, workshops, buying fantastical things, be it the latest book from your favorite web people, or upcoming stuff, or posters, or arts, or accessories. It's all there. And we can show you guys gradually some of that stuff. But if you have any questions about TCAF, of course, throw up the wall too. We had a fantastic time. TCAF has always been our best show. And I don't know if it's even just like a hometown thing, just because we could just lug as many little books as we want just across the street. But it's something about, I was talking to this, I believe it was with Harry, talking about just the spirit of Toronto, for some reason, is a very media-hungry town. Like, Toronto loves every form of entertainment. Now, you think your town loves it too, but no, Toronto loves it more. I'm sorry, more than your town loves it.
We are starved.
Be it comics, be it movies, be it the theater. Well, maybe not all the theater, but a bunch of it. We have fringe festivals too, and every town has fringe festivals. But like something about TCAF is people are just so excited to be there, so happy to throw money at people and take their things and read them and share them, and there's no hesitation. Like some people look at it and be like, oh, at other cons you go to that are more focused on like multimedia and type stuff, movies and video games and things. People might walk by your table and be like, oh, if I have money, I'll come back, and that's the polite way of saying I'm never coming back to the table. Goodbye. I don't want any involvement in it. Good luck with the future. Thank you, sir. TCAF is not like that. People are happy to get invested. That's why they're there. There's no other reason to be a TCAF. People are there to meet, to enjoy, to share.
Yeah, it's just incredibly enthusiastic and very positive show. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so it's always been a good show with us, no exception. Been a fantastic time. We got a bunch of chat jumping up.
Oh, cool.
Well, the other Shanahan, man, we should get her on the show at some point because she could probably be on a camera. I don't know if she has Google Plus though, but Heather says, "So happy to sell." Yeah, but if you had Google Plus, you could join us.
Yeah, Heather was great. She came in on the Sunday as our awesome booth person and was just like, man, she's such a hustler. Yeah. Hey, you want to buy this? Come here and buy this. Like, what are you doing? But it ended up looking like it was almost like a shtick where I was like, oh, don't mind her. But meanwhile, she brought people over, and then it was like, yes, excellent.
Oh, I should have taken all. I've never met you before, right, miss? You have. God. It's like, oh, good.
But yeah, it was fun. Again, just kind of hanging out with you guys all weekend, and then with a whole bunch of friends that are from all over the place. And man, I didn't even get a chance to shop that much. I think I had 40 minutes of running around to try and shop and buy books. So I had such a small handful at the end of the con, and that's kind of the one negative, I guess, of tabling, where it's like you just don't have time to get all the cool swag.
Right. Well, sometimes, you don't have to go too far to get cool swag because you're tabling with awesome people like Stu.
Yes.
Our neighbor was Stu. You might know
Livingston.
Stu
Livingston.
I should have the last name. Livingston. And this guy's top notch. He's got his own book. Do you have it here? I'm trying to we're going to try to keep everything as we do it.
It's in the other room.
It might be in the other room.
All right, let me grab it.
Wait, who's getting it?
You or my file's very small.
Let's see if I have it. Someone has it. Zero upstairs downstairs. Point is, we're this guy Stu Livingston. He's a fantastic guy, and he also did storyboard work for Steven Universe, which we'll talk about in a bit. But then he gave me a drawing. I asked for one. I wanted a garnet and his Steven and his mush in the hair, and he did it. And I consider it legit. This is like actual. This is 100%. This is the thing. This is the real deal. I have an original Steven Universe art piece. Thank you, Stu. And his book, I believe is it eggs? I keep mixing it up. Is it eggs, rice, and spam, or spam, eggs, and rice? Whoa. Katie's breaking things.
Fell down.
Quickly, Glenn says, should we mix the intro song with scanner sounds, he says. Thank you, Glenn.
It's my Aurora Pez container. Cute and Maleficent.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Stu's book. Yeah, Spam, Eggs, and Rice. And it's full of... So Stu is a really awesome guy. I met him through the Flight books, like most of my amazing comic friends. I love the Flight people. And he's got this really fun mini-series, Spam, Eggs, and Rice, which is really cute. Autobio comics, and there's a lot of humor, and like the way the drawings are just really fun. He works full-time as a storyboard artist, and he's been on shows like Futurama, Steven Universe, and a whole bunch of great stuff. And yeah, this was one of the ones that I was like, I need to get it, and it's so easy because you're right beside me, so I'll make sure I grab them before they sell out. But yeah, that was so much fun. Boop. And he's selling these online too, but Stuart Livingston is his website.
There you go. Go there now. We're just going to endorse like everyone we got stuff from. Because we also got, once again, if you watched last week's episode, surprise ambush guest was Lucy Bellwood. She had her book at TCAF here. We got it's the Grand Adventures. It's her stories in the Grand Canyon. And like there's a story to this book as well. She basically drew and painted. See all these colors, these nice colors and stuff. This was all done the day before her next adventure. She was down there for like 2 weeks or a month or something like that. And every day she would do like the previous day's recap and color it, and then head out for another trip in the canyon. So this is a beautiful looking book. I don't know if there's a website there, but yeah, you're gonna want to check out Lucy Bellwood for all your fun stuff, for all your grand adventures. A daily journal comic chronicling 3 weeks at the bottom of the world. Okay, 3 weeks. There you go. Most beautiful hole in the ground. Boom. So go to her website, Facebook and Tumblrs and all those things. We got Heather also saying, lol, why are you guys on separate floors, one?
Because I'm drawing.
Yeah. Didn't you hear the theme song? It said Katie's going to draw and Shaggy's going to laugh. In this episode, we were going to recap TCAF. I may have drowned myself out with the accordion, though.
It was fair, me going, rah.
Erica Friedman saying, agreed, TCAF is the best of all the comic shows. The best of comic shows.
Awesome. Thank you.
Agreed with your agreement.
If this is the Erica Friedman, I think it is. This is the Erica who moderated our panel on art theft.
What?
On the Saturday with Rachel Dukes, and it was a really fun panel, and thank you very much for moderating. So the Comic Book Resources website did a recap on it as well, so if anybody missed the panel, some of the highlights are on the site. I have a link to it in my Tumblr, but comicbookresources.com. But yeah, it was a really good talk. I was super nervous on my way over, but like Erica was a great moderator host, and like me and Rachel just kind of talked about our experiences with the crappiness of art theft and how we dealt with it and things we would have done differently, and just kind of also trying to encourage people not to stop drawing because of it, because it's something that sucks, but you know, there's ways to handle it, and there's people that can help you. But yeah, not fun, not a fun thing to happen. But the panel was good. panel was a fun thing to happen.
Yeah. And did you get other people like a Q&A? Was there other people sharing their experiences at the panel?
At the panel, yeah. I don't know if no one in the audience really shared their experience with it, but there were some good questions. The funny thing is, right after the panel, a guy came up to me, and he is a copyright lawyer. And I mean, to preface, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, back in February, my cold feet drawing, which is the one that's like, it's all blue color. There's a couple in bed. She's got her feet on his back, and her feet are so cold. The guy's like, ah. Anyway, that showed up on a billboard in Hungary, and then it was kind of the back and forth I had with the company to take it down. And it was one of those things where I was like, they paid someone to crappily trace this drawing. Maybe I could get some compensation for it, but they took it down, and that was kind of the end of it. And I was like, oh well, I won't press it. But after the panel, this copyright lawyer guy was like, yeah, you probably totally, you could have been compensated, like if you handled it, like, if this happens ever again, like, here's my card. So, but it felt good knowing that next time if something terrible happens, the right venues to go through.
You got options.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the big things I mentioned in the panel, and it was mostly for Ontario artists, but I mean, there's different resources to go to, whatever country you're from, just places that will give you free advice or for a donation, like places that will give you advice on what to do next. And alas, Ontario is the one that we have here, and it's for artists like actors and painters and musicians and everything. And it's you go to them, they will tell you what steps you need to take and how to deal with your situation, and then from there you'll either go, they'll help you find a lawyer or whatever goes from there. So I think it was a very helpful panel. So hopefully we were able to help some people out. But yeah, it was my first TCAF panel ever, so that was good too.
Changing the world one panel at a time. We got Q joining us here saying TCAF, or TACAF, but TCAF, I spent $100 in the first 30 minutes of me entering the library. Good thing though, since many artists sold out on the first day.
They did. There were a lot of, we almost sold out on the first day. I mean, we could go home and get more stuff, but we had all but 4 books. We had 4 Monkey books left.
You brought, except for 4.
Yeah, we brought a whole bunch of stuff, and it was like, yeah, this should be enough. And then by the end of the day, there was 4 Monkey books. So that felt good.
Saturday was fantastic. It was a good, all right, first of all, to paint a picture, I don't know if you've ever been to the Toronto Reference Library, but upstairs there's this kind of like long gallery hallway room thing. I don't know what it is normally. It's just like the space that you can do things in. And that's where the second floor of where all the desks and tables are lined up. Our table was literally right at like one of the first you would see if you entered.
Yeah, we were the doorman.
Yeah. We were basically the doorman outside of the other guys who were on that diagonal curve. Like, they're actually closer to the door than us. But, like, we were just basically right there. So, like, and I was kind of like 50-50 wondering, like, well, if we're, like, the first table, would people, like, enter, not want to, like, invest right away and just want to wander? So they'd be like, don't make eye contact, and just walk past.
Well, that's what I was worried about. I was worried that people would just rush by us. But, no, it worked out really well.
Well, because we had a tactical advantage called free buttons. What? Because we go to this place called Crucial Pins. It's just down Spadina, and they do a fantastic job. They just they get it done in a day. If you want like 300 buttons, whatever, they'll do it. And so like we do that for a lot of the buttons we've done. Like with the book with the Silly Kingdom ones that we sent out, that was from them. And this one we just had like a con exclusive. It's the cover, a little it's the unicorn from the new Silly Kingdom, A New Steed Indeed. Right dab center on the button, and that was kind of our free handout. So if someone was like zipping by our table, I'd be like, we have free buttons, and like that would like pull them back.
It worked, and then they'd be like, oh, and then they would like 50% of the time then look at it because it's like, oh, it's part of this comic. And then,
they would have no choice but to look at our selection. So
So the powers of freebies.
The power of freebies, guys. If you say free bookmarks, people would be like, whoa, and they'd be sucked back by the forces of freedom to your table, and they will be like, and then not either to be polite or just be genuinely intrigued. Now they'll be like, oh, so what else is going on over here? And you're like, well, let me tell you. And that actually got us a bunch more sales. I'm not even good at the hustle. I'm not good at selling.
You know what? The thing is, I'm also terrible at the hustle. So actually, it was amazing having Heather there because she's just like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna like hustle like crazy. But like, yeah, I'm almost like guilty of people come up like, what's this? Oh, you don't
want to waste time with this book. Get
you should go over there. But
So
you know, I never really, I really had to kind of pitch stuff. Like people seem to notice the poster and then want to pick up the book or look through it.
That's a testament to the spirit of TCAF. People are.
I feel like I feel like it's the most positive and excited con I've ever been to. I guess it's more of it's a festival.
Yeah.
But it's like I think part of it too. It helps that it's free to the public to enter. So it's like you go in whenever you feel like it, and then it's you know, well, it's like I say with Fan Expo, when I have to pay $70 for me and my boyfriend to get in, we don't really want to maybe spend a lot of money on something new because we've just spent $70. So, but if you can go in for free, it's like, yeah, all right, like, what's here?
Yeah, that's always been one of the crucial differences. Because like also like a lot of people come in with like, you know, $60 is their limit. If that was their entry fee, then that's it. They're just there to kind of hang out. They're not going to get anything. So it's like these are all kind of the notable things of the CAF system. Like Van CAF does a similar thing too, of course, where it's like, you know, just wander in and then you get to like meet people and, you know, it's up to you whether you want to get involved or not. So, you know, it's just it's a good show. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. I thought I had something else with that, but my mind is elsewhere now. Let's see. Chris the host saying he was at TCAF in spirit. It haunted a lot of people.
Yay! Good.
If you felt the chill down your spine, that was good. Alicia Danang, I keep mixing that up. I'm sorry. Says, I wish I could have gone. Sadly, I live all the way in Florida. Maybe one day I'll get there. It sounds like the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's just really great. And I mean, the people who run it are fantastic. The panels are great. The guests are amazing. They have guests, these incredible international guests that come in for like they're almost like their first Canadian or North American tours will come to TCAF, which is great. Like I don't know if you want to hop into a certain. I'm gonna get that book.
What? Wait, what? What's happening?
The Ocarina.
Okay, well this actually kind of ties into Erica's next point because Erica says, "What was your top moment of TCAF 2014?" Okay, so I don't know if this may or may not be my top moment. You know, we'll see what happens. Based on the outcome. I don't know if there's an outcome. This could just be nothing. But to preface, let's go back a step. So one of the international guests from Japan for this particular TCAF was the creators of the Zelda manga, amongst many other series too, of course, and like the new Japanese My Little Pony series and stuff. But predominantly for me, the Zelda manga, you know, the Ocarina of Time, the Majora's Mask, like this is all the official Nintendo stuff. And they came all the way over to do like a Q&A and art drawing things and panels and stuff like that and just kind of generally hang about. So on the Sunday was their panel, and that's what I went to. So I was kind of gone in the middle of the day. If you came by the table, I wasn't around. That was probably why. I was off at the Japan Foundation, just a couple blocks away past the Bay on Wharf Street, and they were doing a Q&A, which had a lot of like great content in it. It was talking about how they got involved in the project, and essentially like when Zelda Ocarina of Time came out on the N64, this was like they never really knew the Zelda series before that one, and when Zelda came out, they were just like they're just amazed with just the visuals, like the graphics and the world and the characters, and they wanted to kind of, you know, they basically knew someday in their hearts they would be involved in Zelda. They didn't know how, when, or why, but from seeing Ocarina, like someday we'll be involved. And then like a couple, I don't know how, it was a bit later because it wasn't around the launch of the game. This was like maybe because the game came out in like 96 or no 98, 96, 97, or 98, one of those. And the comic came about in like 2000 when they got a message from like their editor being like, hey, you guys want to make Zelda? Ocarina, and they're like, okay. And since then, they've been doing all the comics since. And they actually said something really interesting because I think either a question came up or they brought up themselves, and they said that, you know, they do all the other Zeldas, which is cool because it's like a reset. You know, after Majora, it was like, you know, you're doing Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and it's like a whole new Link and a whole new different world. And then you have Four Swords, which is like 4 different Links in a different world, and then you have, you know, Twilight Princess. I don't think there was a book for that yet. And Skyward Sword, which was in the compendium. But they said something interesting where they're like, if Nintendo allowed it instead of wanting to have like a comic to coincide with a game release, we would have kept doing Ocarina books, like a 32-volume series of Ocarina of Time.
Oh man!
And I'm like, that sounds cool because after, you know, Link defeats, you know, Ganon and then gets sent back 7 years to relive his childhood, it's like, you know, that technically that does lead into Majora's Mask. But imagine if they just were allowed to keep playing in that world and just keep doing whatever they did, because like as each book came out, they seemed to have like a little more input. That they were just they didn't even have the game; they're just given the outline, being like, okay, we got this game, and there's seasons, and and there's a minute cap, and go. And they're like, okay, I guess we'll just here's the character reference, and we'll just make something up, kind of thing. So that was the panel, and then I went to get they had a signing after, and since Heather showed up on the Friday. I didn't have anything to sign because I'm like, Heather, when you come downtown for TCAF on Sunday, bring Zelda books. But she came early. She came either Friday night or Saturday, whatever it was. But she came early, so I had nothing to sign, kind of deal. So at the show, I just bought a copy because they had a bunch of books at the table, of course. So I just bought a copy of Ocarina of Time. And since it was like, that was like one of Katie's favorite games, Adult Link is all sexy and stuff, I'm like, I got to get this signed. So
yeah. It says, to Katie-chan. And then it's got an adorable little Link doodle and a little Navi who's got his little baby hand. So cute.
So I had to buy something because otherwise they had no like paper on the desk for like just drawings. And some people actually had these nice little like thick signing papers that you bring to your like favorite artist to just do a little thing. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? I've never done that before. I usually have something. So I got that signed, which is nice. But now to tie back to Erica's question about your top moments, later on in Sunday when I was alone at the table, I was just kind of sitting there, and then I saw the two of them come in. What's their name again? Their pen name is Akira.
Akira Himakawa.
Sorry, here we go. I think Toriyama's the other guy. Himakawa. They both showed up. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Say a word so the camera jumps to you.
La la la, Akira Himakawa.
Yeah.
See it?
Cool. So, and that's like a team. There's two women artists, and like they're both artists and writers. Like they do both of it. And it was actually, just to go back a step, it was interesting during their demo because they showed how they teamwork, and like one of them is more kind of set on doing humans and like characters, and the other is better at like kind of backgrounds and like armor and stuff. So one would draw Adult Link, just kind of standing there, and then the other would add the sword to his back and add the sash, stuff like that. So that's like an interesting teamwork I haven't actually seen, like at least not seen live in a demonstration. But in any case, they came by because they entered upstairs, and I recognized them. I'm like, oh my gosh! And I just kind of like, I didn't know what to do because I was like, they weren't even like, they were just entering and going by. They weren't even going to my table. I'm like, and I just like grabbed a Silly Kingdom off my table, ran to them, like, just like, I'm like, I want you to have this guy. Like, it's a gift. Take it. I was at your panel, and I love your Zelda, and my family and my sisters love your Zelda comic, and we just want you to have this, and I'm looking forward to your new projects. And I assumed their translator explained my intentions. So she took it, and they all seemed grateful, and there's a lot of nodding and smiling and stuff. And so I'm hoping it's all cool, and I wasn't like overstepping and be like, dude, take this, because I wasn't selling it to them. I was just giving it. Be like, I just want you to have this because I do not know.
Selling would be weird. You're like, no, give me money.
It's just like, come on, man. They need to because it's just like I wasn't advertising. I just like, I want you guys to have this because I love your work. And like as a kid, when we first saw the Zelda manga out, we're like, oh my gosh, someone actually made one.
I lost my mind.
So
that was the early days of the internet where it was like you were finding your fan art shrines and stuff like, oh, SantaMercuryShrine.com, and then Zelda stuff.
.angelfire or whatever.
And it was just seeing the art, it was so beautiful, and I was like, there's a comic! So it's amazing that they, I'm sad I missed the panel, but it's awesome that they're here.
It was a cool panel. I filmed their live drawing thing, so I can like upload that or something.
That's great.
If you want to see that. But yeah, it was fun, it was cool. So if I had to pick a top moment, I guess that would be one of them. I'm just like, hopefully it is a top moment. They're not like, who was that creepy, jumping us and making us take his book. What does he want from us? I'm hoping it all went well. So that would be my top moment. Did you have a top moment, Katie?
I didn't have one. I was trying to make a recap post on my Tumblr, and it was just like, there were so many top moments. Mostly it's just I love everybody coming to town, because it's 2 days or like a weekend, a couple extra days, or in the year where just all my friends from all over the place just converge in my hometown, and it's just so fun. So it's every day there's something to go do, like see, run around, and just I don't know. One of the most fun early moments I had was just going to Snakes and Lattes, the board game cafe, with like Stu and Megan and Keen Sue and John Green and Jason Gaffoe and Tony Cliff. They're just such great people, and it was just really fun to just hang out for an afternoon. And it was cute because after that we went to Little Island Comics, and we all just found our books on the shelves, and was like, we should take a picture with these. It was just like this fun little picture that I could just have, like, oh, these guys. But yeah, mostly it was just the hangouts I really, really liked, and just interacting with our readers. Everybody was so nice. Everybody who came up to the table was so wonderful and just so enthusiastic, and it was just really great meeting everybody. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to choose one. It's just a really positive convention. It's just really fun.
Mm-hmm. All good times.
Yeah.
Heather's comments being voted up for some reason. It's a number of 4
Mm-hmm.
points. 4 points, Heather.
She's just getting legacy votes.
I think this also show the Pudding Commission. Also show the Pudding Commission. Do you have the Pudding Commission?
I thought Heather had it.
I think you have it, Heather.
Yeah, it was you had it in the Maleficent book that Nick gave us.
Or is the Maleficent book here? Does she have it?
If it's here, it's by the TV.
I think I saw the Maleficent book around somewhere.
It's by the TV.
Yours or mine?
Your TV.
Why would it be mine?
Because we were all hanging out watching Steven Universe, and it was like on the shelf by the TV.
Okay, I'm gonna go look.
Just go get it. Yeah. So, let's see, what else can I talk about? But I mean, I know we hammered it a lot, but like it's definitely one of those festivals I would really recommend everybody come check out because it's just really fun, and it's like the people here are just super great and enthusiastic about it, and the people who run the show are great. And oh, do you have it?
I think so, yeah. So this is The Curse of Maleficent. Wow.
Maleficent.
Tale of a Sleeping Beauty. It is a fine quality hardcover book. And for some reason inside it, we have this commission here of a certain someone's dog.
So our other table buddy, Megan Dong, is an amazing artist, and if you guys are on Twitter, you have to follow her. It's Sketch Shark at Twitter. She makes these hilarious comics about mermaids and all kinds of sea creatures and about just her life and her cat, and her drawings are so funny and so spontaneous. And what killed me was actually she showed us her sketchbook, and it's like, my sketchbook is all over the place. When I have comic pages, they're just kind of random things I have to cut out and scan. Her sketchbook was like, you look at the pretty colored comic page on the web, each page is like beautiful colored comic, beautiful colored comic, beautiful colored complete comic, so that you can actually just read the sketchbook as a complete book. And those things, I'm like, that's so priceless. That's amazing. Like, I want to buy something like this. It was just wonderful. But yeah, so Heather got her to do that commission of her puppy pudding.
Of course, this book, not to go over it too quickly, the Maleficent is done by a good buddy, Nicholas? Is it Nicholas Cole? How does it go? Nicholas Cole. So Nick Cole. Cole. And there's actually a fine little signing here with a little cast image.
Little Shanahans.
Yeah,
I like when Heather's got giant shiny eyes. Yeah, I mean, it was so great hanging out with Nick again, because I don't think I've seen him since San Diego that one year. A whole bunch of us were there for Flight 8. He was just so funny. He's such a funny guy. He's such a nice, funny, insanely talented guy. Unreal. That's the thing, the talent, too. I'm just like, rah, everybody's so good.
I'm not going to bring them in here because they're in a poster box, but I also finally picked up some location posters, some destination posters from Tony Cliff from the series Delilah Dirk.
What an amazing person.
I picked up a bunch of, he has these nice, like, full-size, IKEA frame prints of, locations, was it, Tuscany or something like that? And England, London, Constantinople, all these, action scenes at locations. It's very well, I got to put on my wall soon. So be sure to check out from first second, Delilah Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. Who else? I also finally actually met kind of a long time. I don't know if pen pal's the right word, but it was there's someone who was online that I did a lot of back and forth emailing about projects. We got Hannah Kay. I finally got her book because she showed up in town.
Oh, cute.
Third Wheel is a very neat little it's outside it's the pink cover, but inside's all blue and it's got some really nice work.
Oh, pretty! I'll have to borrow that.
I haven't got a chance to read it yet, but she saved a copy for me. So
it was funny. When we were chatting with her, the thing is people kept joking that the T and TCAF stood for Twitter. It's the Twitter convention because it's you would be talking with someone, and with Hannah Kay, when she came over when you guys were chatting with her, she introduced herself as Hannah, and I was like, oh, great, nice to meet you. And I don't know how it popped into my head, but it was you drew fan art for us once, 5 years ago. And I was like, we follow each other on Twitter. And I was like, you're Hannah Kay. She's like, yes. I was like, oh my God. But that would happen where it was you'd meet people twice. Or you'd meet someone, you'd be like, oh, nice to meet you, and you'd chat. And then you'd be like, wait, you're something 65. That's me. And then you just freak out some more. So it was really fun.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We're everyone should wear their Twitter or Tumblr icon on
That's
their
what I
badge.
did. Well, because I came up to someone once and I was like, I'm Katie. And they're like, what? And then I turned my badge around. They're like, yeah, it's that one. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
It's like some people like know right away who are you, kid. It's like, oh, you're the other person. But no, so if you want to check this out, it's their publisher is Peow, P-E-O-W, exclamation mark, kind of deal here. Whoop. And you can get Third Wheel from, I guess any of these links will take you there, but you can go to Hannah K. Draws, Tumblr, there's a bunch of links down there. Get yourself a copy of this. I'm excited. I'm ready yet. We picked up so many things to read. Because also across from our table is our childhood, inspiration of sorts. We have Adam Warren was over there. If you remember the Dirty Pair, he had these books with him. This was the one we never got for some reason. Like,
yeah, I got a part from you.
Yeah, and this is one.
I felt really bad because I went up to talk to him at Emerald City Comic Con, but for some reason at TCAF I was too shy to go say hi, and I was like, damn it! What's wrong with me? Just go over there. But yeah, I don't know.
I got him this son of a.
Oh, that's great. So good.
Oh my gosh. And this was like the last 30 pair trade that came out before he moved on to Empowered, I believe. So it was it was nice to find that one because like I reread Plague of Angels and Sim Hell and Fatal but Not Serious. I'm just like, oh man, the last book, how come we never got it? Like it was all there. I'm like, yes,
yeah.
Excellent. And at the time he was also drawing a commission of Battle Angel Alita, and I was losing my mind. Amazing. I'm like, it's so good, I want that. But I never asked for one. Like, yeah, because it was this like hardcore commission. This is like this is top tier stuff. But yeah, no, it's like this is the type of thing you're doing with. Like you look everywhere, and gradually you're going like, across beside him was Jim Zub.
Yeah.
Just right there from Skull Kickers and the Samurai Jack. Like it's just you kind of look around just your own space and you start recognizing people's work and like if not faces, their work kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of event it is. Let's see. Is there anything else I have here to show off? You got anything?
Well, again, I didn't buy a ton of stuff. Well, let me show off a couple stuff. So I picked up Cloud Factory by Lexi Douglas. I remember, like, I was watching the Strip Search web show the Penny Arcade company folk put on, and like I really loved her art. So this is like the printed pages, the first couple pages of her webcomic Cloud Factory, which are gorgeous. And it's a sketchbook with the character designs and like really beautiful concept art. And yeah, she's incredibly skilled. And just look at that, it's shiny, beautiful, shiny.
Yeah, we want that. We want shiny typography
really
on our
pretty.
books. When Silly Kingdom finally has like 5 issues and it becomes one book, it'll be shiny. We swear to you. That's like my goal. That's the stretch goal. Shiny book.
Oh, like Jean-Pierre FT came over to say hello, and she's got her adorable sketchbook minettes, which was super cute, just super cute pinups. So that was really fun. The thing with TCAF too is everybody's running by super quick, so it's like you've got maybe a 2-minute hangout and then they disappear into the crowd. But this was really great to have. I met Casey Boots, who gave me some minis that I'm really excited to read. Mostly I got some great gifts. Actually, I didn't shop a lot, but I got Epinosa, the Mighty, as well, which is a really fun mini. Just like thank you for people who come by to give minis. Like that's really, really amazing of you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so awesome. I got so many nice books. Oh, and then our good friend Brian Avenue had his new book, Tough Stuff. Boop.
Check out Sassy Mavericks if you haven't yet. That's like my favorite of his stuff.
Yeah. This is cool. I love his stuff's all hand-torn pages and awesome screen printing. I'd love to do that at some point. And my buddy Harry, who's staying with us, gave me the second volume of his comic Demon's Mirror, which looks super badass. Ooh. Colors. Super
Why is it still looking at me?
Okay, blah, 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 blah. Look at that crazy colors over here. Yeah, because I guess when I stop talking, it goes back to you on the screen. So, yeah, super good. Super good.
We got a question coming in. Let's see if I can do this. Makogari Zyfer saying, what's the process like when applying for TCAF? When do you two decide you should try to exhibit there?
I don't know when we started. I feel like, is this like our 4th year or so? Or
Maybe.
5th year? I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like it's 4th or 5th year. Basically, they just open up submission, and then you. When does that happen? I feel like December, but I think maybe you get notified in December.
I guess the question is more like, when did we decide in the beginning to try? Like, what started TCAF? Like, why?
I feel like the first TCAF was probably the year before we made Silly Kingdom, because like I was exhibiting without any books, and that's kind of rare. They want you to have some comics to exhibit with, and we didn't really have anything at all. But I don't know. I guess it's just you start to hear good things about it. You hear good things, and then you try it out, and you're like, yes, this is actually incredible. And then like when we try more cons and to compare them all, it's through experiencing all the different cons that you're like, yeah, this is the one that we feel is our favorite. It suits us the best, and it's in our hometown, so it's really super easy as well. I feel really spoiled that it's right in our backyard.
Let's see if I have anything else to show off. We had I think I went through most, like, there's piles of stuff elsewhere that I got to dig through. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is the day after TCAF, we ended up going, when we dropped our friend Harry off at the Greyhound, we ended up going to Silver Snail to just buy more comics. It's like, because I mean, I didn't get to buy a lot, so it was like, I need more comics to read. So we ended up getting a ton of stuff. Finally picked up, what did I pick up? I finally picked up Rat Queens, Miss Marvel, Pretty Deadly, The Wake, I forget I'm sorry, I forget who the writer is, but Sean Murphy, I love his art, and a bunch of stuff.
I got the Miss Marvel down here, so this one's the one we're talking about, because we've heard so much about it, we haven't got a chance to read it just yet, so we're trying to check that out. And I finally picked up Saga here. We got from what is it? We got Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples, and I'm loving this.
Yeah, I knew you would. I was picking them up at the library, and when you asked about it, I was like, yes, you will love this.
This has some of the most refreshing dialogue, and like it's
really well written.
Well, because it feels like
the art's really good.
Up front, it feels very like this would be a very kind of genre story, like it's like space and getting away from an army and stuff like that. So you expect a certain form of dialogue, and they don't do that at all. They're just being like crass or just being it's like they talk as
she's like
would,
filthy,
but not as you'd expect they would, and that's why I'm loving this, because it's just like they talk like they're people. They're not like all noble and mission and this and that. It's just like it's fantastic.
Yeah, they're like normal, very very relatable people.
Yeah, it's a very human book, despite being set on like moons and other planets. It's
and everybody's got all these kind of alien attributes, whether it's wings or horns or TV heads.
So from Image Comics, you want to get yourself Saga. I fully recommend it. I'm not done yet, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I want to get more.
Okay, I think the third book is, if it's not out, it's out soon. So.
Yeah. Before TCAF actually started, the night before, we were down at the Bento Miso, which is a local. It's not a game studio, but it's kind of like a collective work area of video games plus other small businesses. And they were having their, well, this isn't the whole event, this is kind of everything that's going on, but they're having their 3D art gallery going on. It was a part of their opening night for the Comics vs. Games 3, or Comics vs. Games 3D. And it was a really fun launch party for the event, because like a whole bunch of people were there. And you got to actually wear some 3D glasses and look at like art from people doing pieces from Shadow of the Colossus, from Wario.
Yeah, it looked so good. The quality of the 3D was actually amazing, because you put it on and you just start moving around in front of the 3D picture, and it was just like the art was beautiful, but then the effects were really cool.
Yeah,
and, I think it's up for a while too. So if you're around the Trinity Bellwood area, like Queen and
Shaw,
like.
I think it's Shaw.
And if it's an open house, because I don't think you can just stroll in there. It's great.
Yeah, it was a great exhibit, and they also had fantastic mini pies there that I had so many of. They're just toasty and delicious. Because I came in, and I'm like, I'll have a pie, and I finished it. And I'm like, I will have another. And then Katie got a spare one. I'm like, I'll take your pie. Oh, that's great.
I was trying to talk to people, and it was just flaking and all over the place, and I couldn't swallow because it was just so much pastry, and I didn't have a drink yet. So I was like, take it here.
Oh my God, that's what I want. So that was Menandi, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like Menandi pies. It was really good. I think you can have them.
Menandi pies.
But no, the Comics vs. Game was cool because they also had some games playable there. I didn't get a chance to really play them because there was a lot of people. It was kind of loud. But of course they had Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. Is this fantastic co-op game that's just basically surviving as long as you can with a co-op partner. in this like spherical. It's kind of like a Death Star. Like you're all in this spherical space station, and there's like 5 or 6 stations of things you have to do. Like there's shields, lasers, steering, energy, whatever. And the two of you are trying to manage this whole thing in basically a fight against time that you're not going to survive. But the idea is how long can you last together with your teamwork. They had a tournament for that. I wasn't in that tournament. But something that I was in, but not in, but in, but not playing, but in,
What's that?
was the work from our good buddy Adam Hines from Guys with Pencils. He was working on a game. It was actually an Oculus Rift game. I didn't know that. But he wrote this game that they got a bunch of us to do voices for. I was in this game as this character who had no face and just gained a face. So it was like No Face Greg, I think was his name. I have to remember. I have to actually play it to check it out. But it was kind of this Oculus Rift, kind of point and click adventure type game, like very LucasArts, but it's set in kind of like a black and white like pop-up book world kind of thing, which is neat. So I got to give that a try. I forget what. You didn't tell me what the title was.
It was funny because when they described the Oculus Rift, it was like it's a device that's like all too easy to make someone get really sick because it's just your vision and you're moving around and things are happening. So it's just trying not to make the viewer violently ill and make it entertaining.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's a fun challenge.
It's all first person, like everything is kind of first person. That's the point of it. But it's all like right in front of your face. So unless your brain can make that disconnect and create faux depth, you're literally looking at a screen that's like right here and focusing on that. So like I can see some people's eyes having troubles with that. So we'll see. Like now that Facebook bought it and wants to make like a 1 billion person MMO game, we'll see what happens with this Oculus Rift dealie. But I'm curious. But I do really want to try that game because I want to see how it turned out. I haven't got a chance yet. But there's other games there too. So I don't know if you can just mosey on in, but check out. Keep in your good books. This Bento Miso is a location you want to check out for future games things and working on stuff. We had a question earlier that was tied, offshoot from the book. Krista was saying, so anyone excited for Maleficent? There you go. Maleficent. Maleficent is one of your favorite Disney villains because she doesn't have to give too much reason. She just shows up and she's just like, prick her finger and die, and we're like, whoa, she's harsh, and then she's a dragon, and we're like, man, she's awesome, and we're happy with that.
Well, that's kind of the thing. When I heard it was coming out, it was like, okay. I mean, I'm not offended by it. It's just I really that's one of my everybody's got that kind of one or two childhood favorite Disney movies. It was just the one you watched over and over and over again as a kid, and I just really loved Maleficent in the movie. So it's like I'm kind of curious how they're gonna play this, but I mean, I might rent it at some point. I don't know. It's weird. It's like I'm always like, she's my favorite Disney villain. I have toys of her and stuff, but
you have 3 of them on your shelf now.
A live action movie, I'm kind of I don't know. I mean, it's odd. People it's interesting from a storytelling standpoint when you try and look at the villain and make them more of a sympathetic character. But someone was saying that it looks like they're going to make this kind of a trend with the movies where it's like your side of the story. So I'm like, it would be interesting if it's like, so are you from the point of view of a psychopath, or are you from the point of view of someone that's just
like that Elijah Wood movie? It's just like person Maleficent being like, kill everything.
But I mean, it could be really great. I guess I'll just wait and see what I hear about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the characters, so when I see the posters, I'm like, okay, cool. But I mean,
for me, it ties.
I'm more excited to see Godzilla, I guess. And I'm not really a huge Godzilla fan either. I'm just like, oh, that looks fun. And I really like Ken Watanabe and Bryan Cranston. So yeah, maybe if they were Maleficent, I'd be like, yeah, all right.
Perfect. Back when I was doing the Right Night writing meetups and stuff where we have topics, we had one about villains, and I put out the question of if you give a villain enough backstory and reason to flesh them out entirely, does it make it harder to make them an antagonist that you can defeat or something like that? Because now you have 2 characters you're rooting for, basically. Because when you're like, this guy wants to destroy your world, you're like, oh,
get him. And to go back to
because it's childhood, you're like, oh, I understand now.
Yeah. To go back to that, it's not like I don't like when people make complicated characters. I mean, I find that more interesting. You know, it's not like, no, I want the bad guy to be black and white and just this is bad and I'm going to take over the world. But I don't know. She had this kind of capricious nature about her that just made her so like, ooh, kind of. I don't know if I want to say like sexy, but at the time it was more just like mysterious and like, why is she like that? And she's cool and evil. But I guess when you start to look at it from a sympathetic point of view, it's, I don't know, it's kind of like how much can you apologize for, maybe, with certain characters. It's like, were you the one saying they were going to make a Cruella de Vil movie? And I'm like, how would you? I don't think they were, but it was like, how do they spin that in a good way? Where it's like, I just want to make puppy coats. Why does no one understand? Or like, she got mauled by a bunch of puppies, so this is like revenge.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just bad.
I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see it, but like my perspective is, I'm not sure what the motivations are for everything she does in the movie, but it seems like they're adding all these other characters. So I feel like it's not going to be about, you know, Sleeping, like Aurora, whatever they call her, Sleeping Beauty, versus, you know,
well, she looks like she's almost like mentoring her.
Yeah.
As if she's like a friend in the woods, because it seems like this part of the trailer where she's like, "Is it true? Are you Maleficent?" As if like she just thinks she's this cool lady in the woods that she's hanging out with, but you're the one that's cursed me. So I mean that
she's like, but then you'd be afraid of me. And I'm just like, why does she care? Like, if this was the original Maleficent, she'd be like, boo, like every step of the way, be like, you know, fires of hell. It's like, ah, and then she runs back into the woods.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It could be good.
And it, like, here's the thing though, like, she doesn't have to be that Maleficent. Like, this isn't going to be like, oh, this is the official backstory of, you know, Disney's 19 whatever Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent. It's like, no, this is another story about a character named Maleficent who happens to hate, or like, I don't know, the Sleeping Beauty. I don't know what she wants. But I'm curious to see it, and curious if that effect will then be to all the others. Because I thought I did read there was like coming soon, Cruella.
I don't know if you could do that.
Yeah.
She starts out as like a vegetarian peacekeeper, and something goes wrong.
So there was the Star Kid cast doing the Jafar musical, right?
I mean, when it's done tongue in cheek, that's funny.
Yeah. It's just like Jafar's actually trying to keep things together, and we have Aladdin just messing things up with a genie, and the princess who's just like running around, and the whole like, you know, political system's falling apart because of this. It's just like Jafar's like, doesn't anyone care? Like, just painted the villain because he's ruining their fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I loved that book when I was a kid. What was it? The Big Bad Wolf. Yeah, where it was from the Big Bad Wolf's point of view, where the pigs were a bunch of jerks, and he just was really allergic, and he wanted to go borrow some sugar, and they were so mean to him, and then he just would huff and puff because he was allergic, and then he would accidentally blow the house down, and then it's such a shame to leave like a dead pig just sitting there, so he ate it anyway. But it wasn't like he was a villain. It was just, well, I mean, this pig's already been crushed, so I'm just gonna eat him. But I thought that was fun as a kid.
Yeah. We got tech support telling us that there's Victoria Day barbecue, and people are coming over. So
everybody's invited.
Basically, yeah. Everyone come over to the tech support house.
Come
on. Maleficent trailers, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's movie stuff. So speaking of books, so every day, it seems like every day this week there's been something about comics to talk about. So TCAF. Find lots of books, hanging out, chill people. Then we went to the Silver Snail afterwards.
Yeah.
Today was another day because downtown John and Richmond Chapters location, Chapters is a brand of bookstores, a bunch of them, is closing down. Yes, bookstores, even the big bookstores from those movies like You Got Mail that are like, oh, they're kicking out the little guy. Well, the big guy's getting kicked out too, apparently, because books just aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is selling and things like that. So, unfortunately, if you've ever been down to where the movie theater is on Queen Street near Spadina, that store is shutting down. Today was the first day of 2 days of its 50 off everything. Like, they're basically clearing out the store. So if you're in the Toronto area and you want some cheap books, you're going to want to check this out. If you got the day off, go. Because the lines start building later in the day. I was there at like 11 o'clock. It was actually pretty chill. And then I was like looking at books for so long that it became like 1. And then there was like all these people, and I'm like, oh shoot. But I actually picked up quite a few things. Some I already gave to you. All for 50 off. And this is like better than any like the other. You know, there's a lot of comic shops trying to do a lot of sales where it's like, oh, 25 off U.S. cover price. This was like 50 off everything, which was like legitimately pretty decent. One thing I spotted, which I didn't know existed, is they actually had a copy of the Wolf Children over here. Look at the size of this thing. This thing's a beefy book.
I didn't know that was a manga.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen it,
is it a book or it is a manga?
It says original story by Mamoru Hosoda. So I don't know if the movie was based on this or I'm assuming.
Weep.
But if you haven't seen it yet, The Wolf Children is a fantastic film. You want to check it out. And there's no spoilers here, I hope, but here's some of the art. It's very light and nice. But it's a cute story. It's a sad story. I guess
it's a life story.
Yeah, and I guess we'll get to check out how similar it is to the movie. But I picked up that. I picked up a bunch of other things, but I think I either handed them to you or they're elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But definitely it's an apt opportunity to go to a bookstore and collect a bunch of things that you're missing. Mm-hmm. They have like a whole manga and comic section too, so it's not just novels. It's like they had like most of like Why the Last Man and stuff like that, or Transmetropolitan.
Oh yeah, I have to catch up on that.
They have like some of the Viz Big editions of things like Dragon Ball, and they actually had like the Full Metal Alchemist, like the first one there.
Yeah.
I almost got it, but I figured you could just go back to the library if you want to read it again. So I'm like, there, whatever.
Yeah, I really like that series. That was like 28 books I would get from the library, 29 books.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't think I have anything else here from that, but it was a busy morning. It was just me like scouring through all the shelves and looking for things and seeing what I wanted to get. Actually, the one I had to you was the Thrill and Adventure Hour has their own comic. Yeah.
Do I have that in here? I don't know where I put it. I think.
Well, if it's not there, no worries about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have it here.
All right. So I put the word out to you guys. If you're in the Toronto area, check it out. You know, it'll help them to move their store or whatever they have to do. It was a nice location too. As far as bookstores go, this was like a 3-4 floor thing. Like there's a main floor, then the second floor which was a coffee shop, then the third floor which is just all books and kids stuff and things like that. And it was a nice store, and it was right beside a movie theater. So if you're like, oh man, I really enjoyed Spider-Man, I want the novelization, you could just walk next door and pick up your copy of whatever movie, or Godzilla the novelization, or whatever. You know, or find out what the movie was based on, because they always had like posters in the front window being like, you know, oh, you can watch the movie next door, but you can also read the original book. You know, check out Harry Potter and things like that. So we thank the store for its many years of service, but I don't know why it's happening. Maybe it's just the location is no longer book friendly, or books in general are kind of an odd. You know, Amazon did it. I don't know.
Amazon.
It's always Amazon. It made it too cheap. Made it too easy. Shows up in a day. I don't know. But check that out. To go back a step too, so after TCAF was done, there's after parties every night, of course. The Saturday night there was stuff going on both at the Pilot and the bar across the street, the Spotted Dick.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So that's the event we went to, because that tends to be quieter. Like the Pilot tends to have more loud music and talk to anybody.
The Spotted Dick was really bustling, but we tried the Pilot last year, and it was one of those things where we, after having to wait in the line for a little bit, we got in, kind of squeezed our way up to the roof, and then the 4 of us that got in there were still like pretty much like nose to nose how close we had to be to each other, and we still couldn't hear each other there, and it was just like, there's no way we can meet anybody, there's no way we can talk to anybody. So when it was like happening this year, I was kind of like, maybe we won't do the Pilot this year. I think the Pilot's more like a dance place though. If you want to go dancing, that's fun, but if you want to hang out and chat, the Spotted Dick was a fun venue for that.
Yeah, so I did that, and then the second night, Saturday night, after wrapping up all the tables and going home and dropping off the books, we were just done, and so we didn't actually head out to the TCAF after party, which I heard was a good time too, but we were just like exhausted from.
We couldn't go back. I mean, we took all the books and we're just like, hey, do you want to watch some shows?
So we chewed through a bunch of episodes of Steven Universe, which I've only seen a couple at the time, and so it was actually great to like get a group of people to watch like basically this animator's show. Like there's a lot of ridiculous character expressions and like breaking the model that happens in this show that like we just all die laughing watching them do it. Because if you haven't watched it yet, Steven Universe is it's so many. It's basically rocketed its way up to my top 2 current shows next to like Gravity Falls. I put it that high. It's up there with Gravity Falls. I love it so much. It's the premise, of course, is kid, Steven Universe, and he's one of the Crystal Gems. The Crystal Gems is these three women who have just different powers based on, they have, one has a forehead gem and like a spear comes out of it. The other, Garnet, she has like these fists that come out of her gem thing. Amethyst has like this rose whip deal. But Steven, who's this kid, and his gem is like in his belly button, he doesn't really have his powers yet or doesn't know how to control them. So every episode is kind of tied to that. But it's also just tied to like him just living at this place, like this beach city. It's this like beachside town that's just like a lazy, quiet town where these Sailor Moon-esque kind of like, or even Evangelion type monstrosities show up that they have to deal with. Yeah,
I think it'd be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, and it's like, they're attacking in this like, near the donut shop or near the pizza shop. And it's just like to see the interaction between, having just these regular folk hanging out and then these like super powered characters jumping around and destroying things. But it's also just one of the funniest shows I've seen and one of the most thoughtful and like heart tugging as well. There's like lots of little moments in it that made me go, ah! I'm just like, ah! If you know what I'm talking about, the birthday episode, you got to watch that one. That one got me right here. And the feels. We got Akugare saying, new episode of Steven Universe comes out tomorrow, by the way. I really dig the show. It's funny and pretty and great. Glad
it's gorgeous.
You like it as well. Yes, the music in it's just fantastic. There's this really cool kind of like jazzy piano music that shows up throughout fight scenes. And at first, it's like you can think that it's kind of out of place because these look like dangerous moments, but it's kind of like playful jazzy music at the time. And I'm like, it really sets an interesting tone of the show. Versus, say, a Sailor Moon, which will have like dun 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 when like a bad guy shows up. It'll be like this is just like it's almost like a matter of course for them. They know they can win casually to a degree, but still there's still elements of danger, of course.
So what I like too is it's like Heather was saying, we were watching it. It's like things don't always work out every episode. It's like you don't always win, but it's kind of finding a way to be okay with that too, and being okay with the journey and trying your hardest. And I was like, oh, I like that, because it's like they would set out to do things and it would just totally fail the objective. But, it's still making do with doing your best, which I was like, all right, yeah, I think there's a lot of good messages in there. There was that one, though, where it was the kid with the part-time job. I forget what the line was, but he was explaining working to Steven, and it was like, gosh, I forget how it works, but it was like, you spend all your time working to make money, and the money can't buy back anything as good as the time you lost, kind of thing. It was just this really sad moment.
It was a weird moment.
It's true.
Yeah. They go down the arcade.
They're at the waterfront, both riding on these kind of seahorse, or sea riding kind of mechanical toys, and he's just not into it anymore because it's just the money doesn't buy back that time. I was well said, boy.
Like, it's so true. The show's so grown up. And it's just like this is the show that prepares kids for the future. It's just like, there's that one side of you could be whatever you want to be, but at the same time, it's just like, this is life.
Yeah. And then there's a line they keep repeating, the second one that I really like, where, what is it? If
every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
Yeah. and that feels kind of like the theme of the whole series, which I like.
Yeah. Glenn writes a very apt reference. Yeah, did that show drive a van into your heart? Yes, Glenn. Yes, it did. And also, like, very of Rebecca Sugar style from her works over on the Mark Celine episodes of Adventure Time. There's a lot of, like, ukulele songs or just, like, songs in this show that just come up.
Yeah, it's very musical.
Yeah, Steven will start singing a little something because of whatever reason. And that's one of the charms of the shows. There's a lot of, like, little nice song moments that just, drive into your heart. They just like these songs just stick with you because they're silly and cute. There's like during the together breakfast, there's music that's really fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil nothing about strawberries. I won't say nothing. But it is a show. We got Sarah Corian saying, I need to catch up on Steven Universe. Only watched like 4 episodes. The giant woman episode was really cute.
I haven't seen that one yet.
And one thing I want to point out, especially in reference to the Giant Woman episode, is when we were over at our little tour at last Comic-Con over at Cartoon Network, we got to see some, nothing crazy spoilerific, but we got to see some advanced stuff of Steven Universe and hear some information. And they're saying like a lot of the show is inspired by Zelda Majora's Mask. Like if you watch the show with that in mind, if you've played Majora's Mask completely and watched the show with that in mind, you'll see what they're talking about when they say there's a lot of like Majora's Mask influence. Because like of all the Zelda games, that one is tonally one like the sadder and darker ones. You know, at least in comparison to like Ocarina, when you're like fishing, yay, you know, and visually, especially I feel like in the Giant Woman episode, there's kind of some nods to that. And if you look in his room, he has an N64 with a gold cartridge in it, and Ocarina wasn't a gold cartridge. Just saying. Majora's Mask, fantastic Zelda game. I know a bunch of people are like, Majora's Mask. There was a time in Groundhog Day. What is this? That episode of Xena where she had to keep redoing things? I'm like, come on.
Whatever.
All that stuff's fantastic. Yeah, that was a great episode of Xena, first of all.
Yeah.
But Majora's Mask reset system I loved it because narratively it kind of added a lot of sadness of like, what is the value of what you do? Like, is it worth saving these people if they'll be back again anyway? There's a lot of neat questions.
Well, that's what I liked about. That's why I enjoy watching you play games because like Majora's Mask, it's like when you were able to solve each person's problem, you couldn't just end the game with anybody being unhappy. You had to actually make notes to track down how to make sure everybody had the best outcome and defeat every boss again before you could finish the game. So it was like the last 3 days was you solving the kid's problem, like this person's problem, like everybody, just trying to make sure everybody was happy, and then you went to the final boss fight because it was like, if it resets, that person's not happy because it's a reset. So today his life still sucks, so I have to find a way to help everybody.
Yeah, like to
explain. The old lady at the bomb shop.
she's hold up. In context of the game, you have a book of like all the events that will ever happen in this world. You'll have a book of that. It basically checks off whether you solved every problem in this town. That a moon is gradually going to smush, but that's neither here nor there. Everyone in this what was it called? I forget the name of the field. It's called. I used to know the name of the land. Doesn't matter. The point is, there's all these little missions throughout that help you out. Like you'll fix someone's problem, they'll give you something, and that'll help you do this and that and that. And every time you do one, it gets checked off in your book. So in game continuity, in game achievementness, you did it. You're good. You got 100%. You did it all. But in story continuity, every time a day ended, it would reset to the first day. So technically, you even still having that check in your book meant nothing to me because I wanted to feel that I solved everyone's problem in the final timeline before I ended the resets. So I didn't even get a strategy guide for this. I would observe and check the schedules and figured out the best route of how to do everything in 3 days. How to stop the bandits from breaking the milk over at the ranch, but not to do it in an aggressive way, to do it in a nice way, because I wore the brother's mask, which made them cry, which gave me the passive ending. So the lady at the farm gave me a hug instead of just like a high five kind of thing. I figured out how to defeat every single boss within the 4 days by getting the golden arrows and taking them down fast. And then I also did the deeds, and then I helped the guy whose hand was in the toilet and the kids who were running that organization, and I did everything. I got Kathy to meet with Andrew, and and then I was ready for the world to end, and then I'm like, Majora, and then I went to the moon, in fierce dignity, and it was and it was one of the most rewarding video game experiences in my life, to feel like I was able to solve everything in one timeline, and then save Majora himself. It's not a matter of defeating Majora. This was a story about redemption. This was a tragic tale. This was, every boss you defeated, or every time you gained a mask, it was tied to a sad story that, to this day, I'm just like, oh god, that music, that song of healing, it kills me. And that's why Majora's Mask is up there with Ocarina for me. It's a very different game, but that's why I love it, And some people weren't happy with it because, it's too different. I'm like, screw you. It's great. There's so much ambiguous sadness even in the ending credits, where you'll see characters, in scenes that, with stuff that seemed like incidental, but when you tie them together, you're just like, oh my gosh, that was that. Oh, how can I? Oh my gosh. Clocktown writes, Michelle Tripp. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Termina Field though. It was Clocktown and Termina was the land. Majora's Mask, so good. We got a couple of comments. Once again, to make this show flow, you gotta join in the comment section or the question Q&A in the Google Plus, and then we can do other things, because we got Alicia also saying about Steven Universe. All the expressions in Steven Universe are the best. After most of the episodes, I have to sit back in awe of how great it is, especially with the Together Breakfast, when he says, I put them all in a stack, so I guess you could say they're a balanced diet. And then it cuts back to Pearl, And then it cuts back to him, and his eye is like lower, and he's like his face is like melting. Actually, I think it was like Garnet.
It was Garnet. She was just like straight.
Yeah, and his face is like melting with the pun. It's just like.
I love. I really love. Like. Pearl's really grown on me because she's so composed and just trying to be very like neat and tidy, but then sometimes she'll just make these really angry expressions, these bugged out eyes that are just so funny.
Well, Pearl was great on the Tower episode when they were trying to bring the tower back to the way it was.
Yeah.
And her expressions break like nuts. Like she looks like a bird half the time. Like
so good.
Yeah. But that was like once again on the trip we were told like they push the fact that they're allowed to break model, which I really appreciate because I like seeing, you stretching your characters to the max, and bringing them back, and still able to feel for them, still able to be like, yeah. We got Akogari. I apologize if I mispronounce these things. I'm awful. Akogari saying, did you know that closing music evolves with each episode? Someone put together a video to show that. It's a really cool touch. You can also listen to the soundtrack for free at the Steven Universe site, uploaded right.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, I don't know. You know what the thing is? I don't think I've ever really heard the closing music from where I was watching it. It's like they always skip the credits, which is kind of terrible. Like it's not me skipping the credits. It's just the show usually ends like the feed ends right at the. We're in Canada, okay? I don't know how else I can watch it. I don't have this Cartoon Network you guys have. All your shows, all your wonders.
Just have the iTunes store.
Oh, I guess it's that. And that doesn't have everything. It does have Gravity Falls, though. I think. Glenn posts saying, GameTamthysteppearl.tumblr. I don't know what he's talking about some site. Thank you, Glenn, for whatever that is. It's a fan art Tumblr. Awesome fan Tumblr. Cool. Anyways, yeah, so watch Steven Universe. It's up there. It's one of my favorite shows. One thing I forgot to mention that Helen actually picked up a TCAF was Pug Tape. Yes, your world is not complete without Pug Tape. All destruction can be fixed with Pug Tape. It's like they're dancing. I could spin it really fast.
I love it. It's like
the zoetrope.
It's like the zoetrope.
Pugs. We've already applied it to many of the damaged locations of the house, and it looks just great. And that actually came from, I wrote down who released this Pug Tape. Who was it? It was, where is it? No, it was like Pugs Are Fine or something like that, or Pugs Are the World to me. Shoot, what was it called? Do you know? Thought we had this conversation.
No, I have no idea.
I thought, I swear, okay, I'm going to find it in like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, no, I can't find it. Dang it! Okay, well, if you can look up Pugs on the internet, you might be able to find where you can get your own Pug Tape. Oh, Pug's Guide to Etiquette. There you go.
Oh, that's a great title.
Pug Tape from Pug's Guide to Etiquette. It is fantastic, and if you didn't get it, you didn't do TCAF right.
I didn't do it right.
You didn't get your own Pug Tape? Shame.
No. I know.
Adam Ward is liking the Pug Tape. Is this Sushi Boy Adam Ward? Am I correct? Respond if so. I just want to make sure, because there could be other Adam Wards out there. So I'll make sure. If that's the case, because also we were handed this little freebie. It's the fan fiction, the comic strip, right here. Got some silly fan fiction-y jokes here for you folks.
Ooh.
I'm not going to read them out. You guys got to check it out yourself. The point is, you want to get yourself over. We've talked about this before many times, but you want to get yourself over to Fan Fiction, the show, if you're in Toronto. It is like the monthly best thing you can do for your brain. Jokes. It's basically these guys scour the internets of the fan fiction websites and find the finest of the most depraved stories of your favorite characters doing things which are slightly uncharacteristic to their normal activity, and read them out live for our enjoyment. And as I described to all people, you will literally be dehydrated with laughter. So be sure to get those ciders and pack them back.
Yeah, I've laughed so hard my stomach hurt. They're really good.
The most recent one was that we went to was the Harry Potter show, but we've been to some fantastic ones. The Sailor Moon one, the Star Trek was the first one we went to. A whole bunch more. Batman, Scott Pilgrim combo. Good times. Go to Fan Fiction the show. They have the Facebooks. And Adam Ward says yes, sir. Thank you, Adam, for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, and keep that stuff up. We want more jokes.
Keep up that.
Also, trying to figure out how better to follow the weaker vessel because they're hard to find online for some reason.
Oh really? They're so good.
Yeah, they usually end the show with their particular brand of grown man insanity.
They killed me with the Sailor Moon fanfiction episode. It was about a forums fight. And the music just kept getting more intense as like Angel 505 got angrier and angrier.
Yeah. Basically, they dramatize a real form argument, which is delicious.
Full of snarkiness and awful rudeness and copious LOLs, and it was very, very entertaining.
I think my favorite was one of the Batman ones because they had guests performing on this one, I think, and there was like this one guy who was just trying to keep the form clean and happy. He's like, "Hey guys, this is my first post, and so what do you think about Batman, this and that?" And then it just gets vile, and he keeps coming in just being like, "Guys, this is my first post," and it ends with him just being like, "You ruined this for me," and like we're all in the audience like, "Oh."
Poor fella.
So sad. But once again, fanfiction of the show, you want to check that out. It's good times. Adam Ward also says, really enjoying the show. Keep up the great work. Love Zelda as well. So much Majora's Mask passion. Mm-hmm. Adam, you better watch yourself some Steven Universe if you want to catch some subtle Majora's Maskery and Zelda-ness. And, of course, read the comics by our favorite artist, Akira, the name that they have.
Himekawa?
Himekawa?
Himekawa.
Oh, I don't know if I can show. I can't really show because it's like a screen of a screen of a screen. But they have a new work coming out right now. If you enjoy your sexy blonde, elf character,
and you know I do.
they have a new one coming out soon. It's not on Zelda. This is like their own thing, and this is probably going to be awful because it's like a picture of a picture on a screen, on your screen. Where is it? I have a sample of it somewhere. I don't know if this is gonna oh, okay, that's kind of hot. Check this. He's got goggles, son. If you get, come on, wait, no, focus. Damn it. Okay. I don't know.
Just picture a hot animated goggles.
Zoom in higher. Picture a hot dude with goggles. Damn it. I hate computers. All right, there he is. Hot dude with goggles. Look at him. He's got goggles.
I don't know if I'm seeing it.
Keep an eye out for that.
Wow.
That's happening. He's like, I'm sorry. Glenn clarifies Pearl OCD Mom of the Year, apparently, because, well, it's very dynamic. The one thing, not to keep going on about Steven Universe, but there's an interesting dynamic of who they are to him. And because they, I want to go, you find out in, the second episode, but, they were on a team with his mother, and she's no longer around, so they're kind of all his mother figures in an interesting way, or friend figure. It depends how you look at it, but they're all very.
Or it's like they were all friends with the mother, so it's like they're all kind of like the big sister.
Yeah, or that, mother, sister.
They're all like his big sisters.
You know what? Yeah, it could be that if you want to go sisters, but if you want to go give them individuals, I would say mother would be Pearl, aunt would be Amethyst, and sister would be
Amethyst,
or maybe flip that
crazy
around.
Sister. She's like the crazy big sister. Yeah. And then Garnet's kind of like the too cool aunt that
That
takes you to get a tattoo, but
but it's I can't. It's a fantastic watch. It's one of my favorite shows right now. Let's see. We got Julie Pollock. Let's see. There's a couple posts here. Which one came first? Was it someone? Hold on. It was Gemma Curl who did the pug tape. Is that it, Gemma Curl? But nice. is that pug etiquette or is that a different pug thing? I know the industry has a lot of pugness going on right now. We got Battle Pug, which is kind of or is it Barbarian Pug?
Battle Pug.
Battle Pug, yeah. That's basically Conan meets Pug, I think, right?
Yeah. That's a good crossover.
Yeah, that's a good cross sell. I would buy that.
My favorite cross sell I heard this weekend was Dave Roman and John Green's team boat book. How exactly does it go? The angst of being the team, the thrill of being a boat. Teen boat.
That's one of the best cross sells I've ever heard. Angst of a teen, thrill of a boat. Teen boat. So Gamma Carol did the pug today. I'm going to write that down just so I make sure I got my sources correct. Because someone else told me it was pug etiquette, and I don't know if it's the same thing. Because my information is jumping around. Yep. Make a note. Katie, be entertaining. I'm making a note.
What
you working on, Katie?
I'm actually working on a shrimp monkey.
What?
It's actually something that I thought you froze. It's something that I started drawing like.
If I'm frozen, this is jaw-dropping news. There goes.
It was something that I actually drew like right before last TCAF and never got to finish, so I'm starting to pull it together because I had the first 2 panels, but I didn't have the punch. And there's not really well, I mean, I don't. Should I show stuff or like I don't know if I should show stuff.
Can you show like one panel, so it's just like a progress report? But I don't want to give it.
I could show you. I could show you just samples of it because it's kind of like it's like a dream comic, like reoccurring stress dreams from convention season. So let me screen share. Hopefully this doesn't crash. I'll go really quick.
Just quickly, we have a link tied to that. It says ohdear.com/product/dancing-pug-tape. Here it is. So we have that. Check out the pug tape if it's Gamma Carol. ohdear.com. All right, Katie.
Nice. So last TCAF I had these 2 big stress streams about for the convention, and then this year I had another couple more. So those are the ones I'm going to add to this. But a stress stream I had was like missing the entire convention due to not being able to find a decent outfit in time, and it's just like pulling clothes out of the drawer for hours, and it was just like not being able to find anything to wear. And that was like just missing the entire convention. The second dream was having our table set up in the basement of a building across town. So it's just like
behind a pillar?
Yes, it was the worst.
As if it wasn't bad enough.
Sad.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 more that hit me this year, so I'm just gonna add them and then color it up and slap on the internet.
We got Heather chiming in saying, "What?"
I'm really rusty, so I'm just trying to work in my muscles.
Chris, the host, jumping in saying, "Straw Monkey still exists." Yeah.
Screen share for us.
This is shocking news, guys. This is the first. This is our 125th episode.
Well, I mean, this is what I wanted to do with the show. I wanted to show, progress of making the comic, but I just, haven't been making any comics.
It took 125 episodes, guys, but we finally broke her down. She's making Straw Monkey comics again. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes.
Everybody's been so patient. I'm the blurst.
So, like, can we anticipate, like, no more Silly Kingdoms once Straw Monkey starts up? It's just
that's
now
it.
We move to that.
It's just Straw Monkeys.
One or the other, kids. You don't get both worlds.
No, it'll be both.
You want your fantasy or your life? Like, your real life, I mean, like, your life. You have to
my life.
Your mortal life to enjoy. And Heather also posts, "You're pretty." I don't know who that's to.
Everybody.
Set your computers to mirror mode. It's you. All of you. I think these are all posted out of order, but Julie's saying, was it someone named Gemma? I guess I'll pug tape at her table. I gotta look that up. I don't know if is the same thing. The pug tape. I'm really hung up on this pug tape. I gotta solve this.
You can just suture it right now.
No. I'm hosting a show. That would be irresponsible.
You want me to look?
If you want. If you'd like. It's coming up to 10 o'clock. We may stop there, go a bit longer, depending on you guys. It's all up to you, because we run out of stuff to talk about fast.
Huh.
Wicked fast. We got nothing.
Gemma Carell.
Oh, sorry, Gemma?
Gemma.
Is there pug etiquette anywhere there, or is that a different thing?
There's pugs, not drugs.
Chris, in response to Heather, says, "So even I'm a pretty princess?" Yes.
The prettiest princess of all.
It was in you all along. Or it's like you were the hidden prince. Wasn't that the premise of Return to Oz? Where it's like, we're joined the new character in this Oz sequel is a dude, and his name is like Badass, but then later it's revealed he wasn't disguised and it was Osmo!
Okay, so I'm going
to
screen share again. Spoilers.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was good. At least I think that's how it went. We got Alicia.
Okay, so there's pug tape, and then there's also a Pug's Guide to Etiquette, which is a book.
Oh, thank God.
By Gemma Carell. So it's all.
We were both right.
Yeah,
so check out Gemma Carell, A Pug's Guide to Etiquette, and for God's sake, buy yourself some pug tape.
I like this artist bio where it says Gemma is one of the few people in the universe that has managed to turn her love of pugs into a lucrative career. Cute.
There are others out there which we must destroy. But with pug tape, I think we shall overcome. Pug tape's fun. It's fun for the whole family.
Sure.
Like, have you torn your papers with pug tape? No longer are they torn or lacking in pugs. So head over to Gemma Carell and get yourself some pug tape at ohdear.com with 2 H's. If that's correct. Is that what it is? Oh dear? Or is it something else?
Oh dear.
2 H's, right?
I closed it, I don't know. I just Googled pug tape Gemma. So just pug tape Gemma.
You can all do it. The power's in you.
I cannot say this word. Pug tape Gemma. Yeah, just Google that.
How they're saying, oh my goodness, yes, she does do pug etiquette. Saw her table at TCAF. Okay. After 15 minutes, we have solved this. I didn't stop by that table though. I kind of just like quick once around, and then I was like back at the table. I was basically standing all Saturday at TCAF. Like I did not sit once.
Mm-hmm.
Not once.
Good sit. Wear good shoes. Running shoes. Good running shoes.
Julia's now saying I was right. Well, I was right too, Julia. We were all right. Or Julie. We're all right, Julie. We're all right. That's like the end to like a Michael Bay movie or something, and then a helicopter goes off in the distance.
And explodes.
Yes, and then it pauses and the credits roll. So unless you guys have questions, I'm just running out of my pile of leftover topics. Let's see. So if there was a question, oh geez, we've got more. Adam Ward saying it's only legit if the tape wheezes.
Oh.
I forget what kind of dog this was. This is my favorite dog story ever. It's not even a good story, but still my best. There was this little dog I saw once that was on a leash, and you know how dogs will like just yap at anything? Yeah. I think you may have been there too, but this is the type of dog that like sounds like it's going to start choking any second. Because I walked by and then it's like, like as soon as it starts yipping, it just starts hacking and coughing, and you're just like, what the hell is that? I'm not sure if it was a pug.
It might have been a Frenchie because I've noticed that sometimes I hear it sounds like a kid or like a weird like screaming sound. And I'm like, what is that? And then it's like the dog. So I think they make these kind of they're really cute little dudes, but they make these kind of goblin noises. and I know because when I was working on a show a couple of years ago, or last year, my producer would drive me to the airport for. Because they would fly me in and send me off for meetings, and she'd have her Frenchie kind of in the back, and he would just hang over my shoulder, just snorting and yowling, and like, just kind of like,
completely in your ear.
What is that? What does that sound? They sound like they're kind of screaming a little bit, but they're happy. But it's a very unsettling sound.
I don't know if I need that in my life. This dog in my ear.
And it's just a lot of like all the breathing is just constant snoring. And I'm just like, you poor little goblin.
Yeah, his poor goblin sinuses. Someone help him.
But so yeah, it's cute. One thing I'm sad I missed is Keen Sue and Tori Wolcott brought their adorable little dog to TCAF, and I missed him. And he's just this poor little wall-eyed dog with his tongue out. He's so cute. And he's this poor little old dog that's just very relaxed and chilled, and I want to meet him. So cute. Ah!
Didn't someone do an art of the dog? Wasn't it? Didn't Nick draw the dog or something?
I think so. Must have. But he just looks like he's smiling. His tongue's always out.
Adam Ward saying, do you ever go to High Park for the dog hill? Dogs run free.
Ah!
Well, you also live near a dog park, too, so we know what that's like. Because that dog park was great, because it had, like, a park bench in the middle. And so all the dogs would be, like, in a chase. And then, well, this is especially when we brought Pudding out. Like, you know, they all start chasing each other. But Pudding was the only one who has no discipline, so she would jump on any furniture given any chance. And so there'd be this big chase, and then she just jumps on the bench, like, on the table, and then the dogs just freeze. Because they don't know how to handle.
I don't think I'm allowed up there.
they all look at their owner and be like, can I go chase her? She's up there. She's on the table.
Meanwhile, we go home to the house and Pudding's like on the piano. We're just like, what are you doing?
On the railing or something.
Or the railing. Oh,
the other dogs just don't know how to handle the situation. Like, I don't know what to do. Can I go up there?
One of my favorite memories with her is when she was doing her crazy dog thing. So whenever we visit the house, she freaks out and just runs around. And like Mom was bending over to pick something up, and in her freak out, she jumped on Mom's back and just stayed there. And so Mom was just stuck in this crouch with this dog on her back. Just get off.
It's like those cats who sit on your shoulder when you walk around or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Heather's telling her favorite pug story when her friend was walking down Lakeshore with his friend, and a pug shows up and sits down right in front of him and starts breathing heavily, staring at him and shaking. Oh my god. Oh, pugs. Why do you exist? It's awesome. Julie, they're also saying, I'm all up on who I saw at TCAF. Yeah, we keep sourcing back to TCAF because it's too big to just have one portion of our
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I saw a ton of friends, and then the day after, it's like people on Twitter you see talk, you're like, oh, I didn't meet that person, I didn't meet that person, I didn't meet that person, and it's like I hope no one thinks that it's like you're shunning anyone, but it's like you're running around, you're running your table, you're running your show, you're picking up stuff, and sometimes you just don't get to be everywhere. And I mean, that's what the after parties are for, but I guess when the after parties split off, you don't always necessarily meet everybody, but yeah, it was fun. And there's more years. It'll be next year and the year after that, and all good things.
Okay, well, I guess we'll start wrapping up just because there's no more questions and comments. Of course, not to end the note on a complete sad note, but I do want to bring this up. H.R. Geiger passed away this Monday. You would know his works from the designs of the Aliens movies, Xenomorphs. He did all the scenery and stuff too, right? Where it's like the hallways.
Yeah, I saw. Well, the last I saw Giger was
Oh, Giger, I apologize.
There was the Jodorowsky's Dune documentary, which was really interesting. It was about attempting to make Dune way back in the day, and it just wasn't. They weren't able to get it done, but it was bringing together all those great artists, and H.R. Giger was one of the artists that he brought to help with the concept art, and this was pre-Alien, and just seeing his art for that, and then just his career kind of, or not his career, but like his influences after that, touching Alien and just all the craziness. Like he was like an incredible visionary. I mean, the only thing I have here is this doll. This Ripley doll, but it's got kind of a weird
he designed them.
toy version of of the Alien. But I mean, incredible, unique, bizarre.
If you look at any of his art books,
Absolutely
all his walls are all look like scales and things like that, like spines and things. Like it was a very, very unsettling but jaw-dropping design he had, and apparently he had there's the museum and such. Was it not designed also like a real?
Yeah, there's the museum in Switzerland, the Giger Museum, which is just, it looks like inside of the alien ship. It's just amazing and disturbing and wonderful, and a lot of people were giving tribute tweets to him, but a lot of the ones I like where it was like, people who were big fans and love his work, but the consensus was always like, may he rest in peace, gleefully redesigning hell to look exactly like he wanted. That's where he'd be happiest.
So do you guys a favor, do yourself a favor, watch some Aliens 2. I don't know if he did all of them, but be sure to check out those films. They're definitely, Aliens 2 is just ridiculously fun, regardless. It's a great film.
It's incredible. And I mean, it still has his influential style on it.
Yeah.
If you can find his art books, I mean, he's got a really, you know what you're in store for. Really,
do it in broad daylight. In a well-lit room. It's creepy, crazy stuff. But once again, great work. And Aliens 2, once again, we all love a little Ripley versus Queen Alien. And that stuff wouldn't be possible without the design work of Giger. So give that a watch. We'll start wrapping up, too, of course. Quick question from Matt Ward saying, what do you think? Batman's new set photo. It was very gray. There you go.
Batman's new set photo. Oh, is that the Ben Affleck one?
Was it actually Affleck? Because he looked like he looked very beefy.
Yeah, he's beefed up.
Strong. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm in the party where I'm like, you want cast whoever you want. I'm curious to see how you're gonna do it. So when everyone's like, no, not Affleck, and especially if you follow Kevin Smith's support of Ben Affleck, you really want it to happen after hearing.
I can see him working as a good Bruce Wayne. I was talking about this with Jerry earlier, where it was like Christian Bale was like, he's a very I like him as an actor, but it was almost like as a Bruce Wayne, he was like. He just seemed too cool and serious and not fun, of a guy. Whereas Affleck, I could see being this goofy billionaire that they're like, who is this guy? He's just be serious, Bruce. And there's no way he could be Batman. Whereas Christian Bale walking around is pretty much Batman.
Yeah, well, that was like the year one take where it's like Batman's always crashing his Bruce Wayne's always crashing his cars and getting drunk at parties, but that was the explanation for why he's like a fucking steering wheel sticking out of his ribs, from a Batman shenanigan. It's another one of billionaire playboys crazy
if he gets hurt in a fight, he has to make it look like, oh, I went spelunking or something.
Yeah, onto rocks, onto bullets.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm curious. I went punch jumping onto bullets, onto fists.
Like, oh, that playboy billionaire doing those crazy things again.
Oh, Brucey.
Yeah, I was harpooning whales, and I got a harpoon in my ribs. Oh, me. And it's like, because he was against the harpooner that week or something like that. But, Batman, You fell for my harpooning again.
You never do learn, do you?
I hate Batman villains so much the more I think about it.
They're the best! Okay, there's that diner, on Ossington, it's like a little diner they have there. Anyway.
Thank you.
They have, I saw last time we were in there was a flow chart of all the Batman villains grouped by different kind of names. So it was like animal names, psychological things, and it was interesting.
Calendar gimmicks.
Yeah, calendar stuff. It was like every single different kind of villain kind of grouped together, and I was just, man, I only know maybe 6 of these. There's so many.
Like, and I said it before, but in playing Arkham Asylum, when it's like you can unlock like all these little secret files of all past Batman villains, I'm like who? And they're like, Calendar Man, and I'm like, oh god. And it's like, he commits crimes based on the schedule of the week, and I'm like, okay, it's like, it's a bank holiday, Batman. Guess what I'm robbing? And it's like, oh, shut up. I don't want to hear it, Calendar Man. He's like, come on, foil me. Like, no, I'm not getting involved in this. I hate you, Calendar Man. I hate you so damn much. And I'm sure there's modern writers who gave him pathos, and no, he's awful.
None.
I will not be involved in this. Oh, no, it's goofy and fun. That's great. Batman, it all makes sense. So, to sum up, go for it. That guy we were talking about, what's his name?
Yeah, that guy.
Ben Affleck, yes, that guy. Go do it. I'm happy for you. We got some last comments here. We got Julie saying, oh, I remember at TCAF, I got you to sign my copy of Shred Monkeys. You said it was the old version, but the difference between the copy I got last TCAF compared to this one.
It was like way back at Fan Expo, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. We printed our very first. Do I have copies of it? I think they're in a box somewhere. But it was like, because the comics were long, I printed it long, so it was almost like
made
long,
sense at the time, I swear.
Books with the coil binding at the top, so you could flip them and read them like.
They were meant to be read.
Essentially, it was a book like this, but half the width with spiral bound at the top, and you would read it like this, just like ridiculous. But I mean, thank you very much for picking one up. That's a rare item, and you hang on to that because that's not going to be repeated.
Yeah, we will never make that mistake again. So you hang on to it. It was homegrown.
Don't let anybody see it.
It was more of a zine than it was like a published.
It was a zine.
It was like a heart, made with heart. That's what zines are. Comics are cold.
We made them with each page was made with like a different kind of scrapbooking paper, and then we had our photo was like 3 monkeys with our faces on it, just slapped on. That was the cover. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, it felt very homegrown. It was great. It's the best. You'll love it. Never again. We got Adam Ward saying, also Fan Fictions Productions is hosting a monthly nerd storytelling show, not to put either you on the spot, but would either you do it live in June?
I'm not much of a public speaker. You're good. You should do it.
Sort of. Yeah, we'll see. It's an intriguing...
yeah. I'm good at stuff that's like... I'm good at Pictionary. I'm really good at Pictionary.
If you want Katie to draw, we could do a thing where like I tell the story and she does the art in real time.
Yeah.
Like, and then the nerd said this to the DM, and everyone's like, "Ooh," as Katie draws it. I don't know actually what kind of stories you wanted. I just like put what little I had together.
Yeah.
Tell that down. Yeah, no, that could be fun. I'd be intrigued to do such things. We will speak on further terms.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds like fun times.
I want to use my vast array of voices. Yeah. Well, I should. As you may know, all of you, I am trying to get my voice reel out there. I got a brand new, spanking new voice reel I'm going to set out there because I have the time now. as we explained in previous episodes, I got time. So I want to get that out there. Let me see if I can do some little work around town with the voice cords. Cool. We seem to have a bunch of like Maleficent quotes from that we just kept ignoring. So fine,
Really?
we'll lead out with this, Heather. Heather says, Maleficent, the party don't start till I walk in.
Yes, that's exactly what she says.
Thank you, Heather. Chris, the host, rebuttals with
Wait, what'd she say?
Maleficent. Oh, how does she speak? She's like, oh, the fires of hell. Oh,
What?
oh, that Sleeping Beauty. Y'all, all right, Chris writes, y'all stop. Gonna curse your babe tonight with some fright so she won't see the sunlight. Katie was shaking Maleficent while I was doing that. Let's re-encounter Katie.
All right, ready?
Make noise. Well, no, if I talk, it'll cut to me. So unless I click you, all right.
Okay.
I'm Maleficent. Watch the movie. Maleficent. Done. Okay, that's what you missed. Fanfiction Productions is now doing Pictionary shows, as Adam Ward. Excellent. We keep expanding. What the? We keep expanding the roster in 2 hours. Cool. I think that's about everything. Heather also is posting DeviantArt links promoting her own work on our show. Thank you, Heather. But speaking of what's going on in the Katie screen? What's going on?
It's really cute.
It is. It is ridiculous. Speaking of shameless self-promotion, if you were at TCAF or if you weren't, of course, the book is...
I actually have the book.
Yeah? Okay. I'll leave... That's great. I'll leave the camera on you as I talk. You ready for this? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this. Ready?
3, 2.
Yeah.
Wait, which one are you doing first?
Oh, we're gonna just improv this. Ready?
Okay.
Go.
Okay, this is Katie. Katie, oh, jeez, what are you doing? One day, Katie, this is our storytelling, nerd storytelling. One day, Katie was going to the store. Okay, you gotta go to the store. Just walk to the store. And she thought to herself, I am lacking in a comic book on a paper, and so what could I do? And she had an internet in her pocket. So she dialed SillyKingdom.com. And out from the internet came Silly Kingdom, Alan Grimrickshaw's 211th birthday. She wondered to herself, do I like humor fantasy stories good for all ages? Do I like grumpy old wizards who hate birthday parties? Can I read them in this lifetime? And all answers were in her hand. Silly Kingdom, stapled with staples on papers. Available now at fine websites like SillyKingdom.com. Yet she grew wary of exclusive fantasy fare. Why don't people tell me their life stories and then stop making that comic for a couple of years? Well, that exists. That exists too. For you see, a Shanahan family there was that made a book about shrub monkeys. That is somewhere in her house, I hope.
Upstairs.
Oh my god. Okay, forget that noise.
Copyright.
You're going to want to get yourself a copy of Shanahanigans Volume 1, Shrub Monkeys, collecting the classic. Oh my goodness. This is retro even. You kids nowadays, you're like, oh man, I want to be the first to get the most retro thing. And you're like, these pants, no. This, no. Silly Kingdom, no. The other thing I was saying. That's new. Silly Kingdom's brand new. That ain't no retro. But what is retro is Shanahanigans, Shrub Monkeys, all the best. What? Yes. Buy it. If you like fully colored in blue, you want to get your hands on this book, which is somewhere in this house, maybe. I don't know where it is. We sold them out. Oh my gosh, we sold them all out. We don't have any.
Oh god.
They're that good. But you can order yours. Go to Shanahanigans, spelled just like it sounds. SHAN. IGANS.com. And you can order yourself a copy for $10 plus shipping. Canadian shipping is really expensive right now. But that shouldn't deter you. You want to support the Canadian shipping industry so that they can send you more fine things. And you can like order both of them, I think. Can you if you wanted?
Oh yeah, you can order it all together.
Yeah. Oh, but hey, speaking of the future, I foresee a pre-order opportunity. What's this? Wait, are you grabbing something that I could show you? Tales that don't even exist yet. Do you want copies of things that don't exist? Silly Kingdom, Volume 2, A New Steed Indeed is coming extremely soon. It says May on the postcard. Don't hold us to it. It's coming soon.
Please don't. It's May coming to 2014.
May. Put that around. May coming.
No, it'll be out soon.
If you like your fantasy with a little edge of danger, then unicorns are the way to go. We found, and this is a book for you. It's all that. I can't even tease it any better. You want to go to the Silly Kingdom website again? You could pre-order it. You could pre-order Super Duper Edition. Katie, what's in the Super Duper Edition?
Super Duper Edition comes with an artist sketch by me of one of the characters on the front cover. It's going to be inked and it's going to look pretty. It also comes with an exclusive art postcard, which we haven't drawn yet, but it's going to be very pretty. And it comes with, are we doing buttons? I don't know if we're doing buttons. We might just be doing the sketch in the postcard.
Maybe,
buttons gets kind of tricky.
Let's keep the shipping light this time.
Yeah, okay. But you're going to get I haven't really been promoting it too much just yet because I wanted to get the comic drawn completely before we start super setting up pre-orders, but I've opened up pre-orders for people who want to jump on that. And it'll be done soon, and you will get, if you get the Super Bonus Edition, you get a drawing by me and a postcard of backer exclusive art.
Cool. Upcoming shows. Vancouver, what's going on? We're coming your way in 2 weeks.
Vancouver's happening next weekend.
Is that not 2 weeks? That's after this week. It's
after
the
this
second
week. It's like this weekend happens, and then it's next weekend.
And next weekends, we'll be in Vancouver for VanCAF. What's this, Vancouver? You want your TCAF-like action? Well, you got it. You got VanCAF. All your favorite creators are going to be there. There's going to be panels. There's going to be fun times. There's Japadog. If you like your hot dogs infused with Japanese flavors and things, it's going to be great.
Seaweed.
And we'll be there with the table, with us at that table. I can't even guarantee anything better than that. We'll be there. We'll have our copies of all our fine books and stuff, and we'll have things to give you guys too. It'll be fun. We'll hang out. See you in Vancouver at the Round Thing.
House.
That. By the water. Very nice, very nice. After that, you're like, hey, Toronto still needs more love. We haven't got enough of you. What's going on in June? Well, Taffy, Toronto Animation Festival. What's it called?
Arts and Animation Festival.
I forget what the other A
is. It's like, I can't even. Arts and Animation.
The Toronto Arts and Animation Festival. Now, usually it's like lots of crazy screenings, lots of theme screenings of like, oh, this is going to be like psychedelic, and oh, this is like silly and comedy. They've added tables now with creators, so you can buy stuff from some of your favorite creators and artists and animators out there. This is Taffy. This is coming up in June in Toronto. It's going to be fun in the sun on a bun. I can't even guarantee how many buns. It's going to be all that and more. We'll keep you posted on that as we get closer to it. Beyond that, stay tuned. Be sure to favorite and like or whatever it is you do. The Facebook/whatever/Shanahanigans. That's us.
Mm-hmm.
The channel you're watching right now is the YouTube. Maybe a little subscribe.
Maybe a little thumbs up button.
Well, whatever you want to do. I won't stop you.
I like it. I mean, if you like.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
It takes no effort. It's like, what? How many muscles are in your finger? Oh my gosh. Just click like.
Not the other one.
Not this one. And you also want to go to the Google Plus as well. All right, kids, we all hate Google Plus, but it works for now. So you can use Google Plus to subscribe to this very show, and we'll put you in a circle. Yes, that's right. I don't even know what that means. We'll put you in circles. It's good times.
Yeah, I don't know what circles means.
Twitters and Tumblrs, Katie Shy.
Katie Shy.
Follow that. You'll get some art updates. Shaggy Shan. Yeah. I post a witty thing or two, maybe as jokes. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I don't do this like look what I'm eating stuff. You don't care what I'm eating. I don't even care what I'm eating. I don't respect my body. I had KFC yesterday. Deal with it. I post only high quality posts like what I'm shopping for and what else did I do? Pug tape. Good God.
Pug tape and tiny furniture.
My addictions. New stuff's going to be coming my way. I'm going to talk about that in a bit, but we'll save that for another time. New stuff coming. Hey, do you like or hate Twilight? I was doing that thing where I was reading it. And
Did you read another chapter today?
I just finished chapter 20.
Are we close to the end?
We're almost done. 4 more to go.
Oh, you were so close.
Will be complete.
Bonus.
I'll be free of this book. SRT, Shaggy Reads. You want to go to uberfriendship.com. Stay tuned for that, and the new chapter will be showing up soon. Don't tell anyone about it. I don't need Meyer coming after me.
I don't think. Oh.
I don't need anyone on my tail. It's just for you. Keep it quiet. It's just for you. Beyond that, I think that's all the promotion I could do. That was like a good 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Woo. Thanks for stopping by. The show is usually Shanahanigans Live, usually Tuesdays at 8, maybe 8:30, maybe 9, maybe it's Wednesday. I don't know. That's why.
That's why you have to stay tuned to the Facebook.
That's why you gotta like and follow. You gotta put some effort into this relationship.
Because we like to keep you on your toes.
We got Free Talking saying, I'm so glad that TCAF went well. Thank you, Free Talking. TCAF did great. We hope to see you guys at any of the upcoming shows. Otherwise, we'll always be online. Throw us a line, and we'll throw you
always online.
Yeah, I'm addicted.
I know. I
can't let go of my phone.
It's sad. I get like sweats when my phone's not close to me. I'm like, where's? It's like,
that's Katie.
That's me. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm Shaggy. See you
Bye.
guys later.
Bye.
Fun.
Wait, where's my listen?
Bye.